Hey there, all things MSP crew. Welcome back to another conversation here at Kaseya Connect. I have no stranger to the group, Juan Fernandez, but he's doing something new now.
I am.
And I think it's exciting. I actually haven't heard that much about it yet,
Nice.
but I know if Juan's doing it, it's got to be something that's fun and beneficial to the channel. So, Juan, welcome to the show.
Hey, it's great to be here, Eric, and I look forward to diving in. I'm really excited about what we're doing, and not just because it's something that I'm doing, but it's actually a feel-good movement, and it really aligns with my passion to re-stimulate the entrepreneurial ecosystem and restore the balance to the channel, as I like to call it. But it's exciting, and I look forward to diving in.
And it gives you a reason to come to North Carolina, which,
Oh, man.
hey, I'll take anytime.
Absolutely. I can't wait.
So it's called MSP as a service.
It is. It is.
Give me the elevator pitch, and then I'll try and go from there.
One of the things that we recognize, and I've seen this for a long time, right? In building the channel, building an MSP, working with others. I mean, the MSP Owners Handbook,
right?
Creating the MSP Owners Group. Like, there's these challenges that I see that exist in the space, and and I was bringing out the previous SaaS company in the last few years to market. The beginning and the end of time in what we do, and I talk about this era as the problem operations era, right? Like, we've been making money on problem operations as a service for years. And one of the things that scared me was this MSP 5.0 thing that I started talking about back in last year. And it's, what do you do when what you do isn't what you do anymore, right? And I talk about the 5-year jump between where we are, and I started this in 2020 or 2025, talking about 2030. Like, it doesn't matter how you look at it. What we do today won't be what we do then.
Right.
And so for me, it was an opportunity, and I saw this, and I said, I don't think we're going to make it. And, I consider myself a resident MSP, right? Like, I bleed that. I understand the entrepreneurial journey, and it pangs me to see that the only option I thought that I could see a clear picture, and I saw one gaining traction, was people leaving. And so I said, that's not the only way to do this. And so I decided, I've acquired a few MSPs, and everyone thought I was doing a roll-up, which I wasn't. And I just laughed because I was like, oh, they're going to love this when they see it. But what I did was, and a lot of people say, hey, you have the story. You built an MSP. You did it, Juan. That was a great time. But what I heard and what they weren't saying was, but you didn't do it today. And I think about where we're at. And the only way that I could help people get to where we need to go is if I got back in and I started helping again. Because I noticed that if I start leading from the front, doing it together as a community, people adopted it better, faster, quicker. So I acquired another company called NocDoc, and they're based out of Winston-Salem. They're a 24/7 knock, sock, and service desk, U.S. based.
I actually called on them
Nice.
as a client several years ago.
Well, and this is the beauty of it, is that we're all U.S. based, so there's no overseas anything, which we all know this is a challenge. Like, none of us can honestly say that hasn't been a challenge. So we're all ITIL aligned. Our operations are all ITIL framework.
Okay, so you're doing it based on those standards.
100% ITIL. And then on the back end, it's CIS aligned with the NIST framework, right? So we paint to the CIS controls. So we're very rare in what we do. We don't just provide knock, sock, and service desk services, but we also are one of the rare birds that can terraform new worlds.
Okay.
So if you're a new MSP that's getting started, you can get your entire stack from us. And we terraform the whole thing, set everything up. We're 100% white label. We answer the phone as you. We have tight SLAs that deliver. And this profit-first methodology, which is, and I looked at this, right? And I said, one of the things that's bothered me as an entrepreneur was pain first, pain, contract, testing product, get a customer, first dollar, revenue, and then there's years before you're actually at profitability.
Right.
So I tried to condense that down to day one. No contracts, no commitment, profit first, pay second, which is what we need right now, and the operational stability of the dream state of an MSP. So I created what I always thought we needed to stand on that basic layer of food, air, and water in the Maslow's hierarchy, from the MSP owner's handbook, right? Like, if we don't have these things, we can't get and move up to start doing AI consulting. We can't start focusing on these other things. And so that's what we started, and it's awesome to watch. And again, I started off with wanting to reinvigorate and reestablish the entrepreneurial ecosystem. And it's beautiful because we're standing up new MSPs every day. And it just makes me smile, and they got new challenges, and I'm learning from them at the same time while providing this layer of service and just watching the innovation that's coming to the forefront. So it fills my cup, and for MSPs that are trying to figure out if they can ever make money, we can now show them that you can make money. And most MSPs are putting about 40-50 points on us gross margin. Wow. And that's still like 10.
That's real margin.
It's real margin. And even MSPs that have been in business for a long time, I got private equity. That's how private equity can be.
Yeah.
They're standing up MSPs on top of us because it makes so much more money than them buying an MSP and trying to fix it.
Well, because so much of the problem in MSPs is operational.
Sure.
Right? It's delivering the commoditized services. And I know you guys don't like it when I call them commoditized services, but they are what they are.
Sure.
Right? They are highly duplicatable. And anything that is highly duplicatable, if you're not doing it efficiently, you're not going to pull the profit out of it that you need to.
Well, and I wanted to everybody, we're all looking at this, right? Whether, you're starting to think about, do I replace everything with AI? And, I'm betting on the human side of this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, why would I buy a service company made with people in the AI era, right? And this is where I put my $5 in real money on the table and say, I believe that the future is still human, right? Mm-hmm. And I want to prove that, yes, we will use AI to interlace, to create that opportunity to do more, better, faster. But I didn't see a lot of, for instances, I saw a lot of people that were just like, screw it, fire some people, add some AI. We got a lot of platforms coming in talking about that, right?
Yeah, I don't know how well that's actually working, though.
Hey, I just want to say we're doing it different. We have a human first, and I'm doing that, right? Like, somebody's got to try it to be different.
Yeah, and by doing that, now not only are you providing the MSP with that upfront almost profitability, that day one profitability
it is.
On the services that we all have to provide.
Yep.
But you're also freeing them up to do the specializations.
Yep.
The focus on business outcomes for their clients.
Yep.
Not the everyday technology.
And this is where I think, we call ourselves the world's first elastic service provider. So we launched MSP as a service, which is a new model. Mm-hmm. Everybody was like, what is that? And we call ourselves this elastic service provider, the world's first. And it's interesting because we can terraform new worlds. And because of what we deliver, we give the MSP the autonomy to pick almost anything they want, right? Like, you can pick a little service desk 8 to 5 or 24/7. You could pick a little knock with, whatever your stack of tools that you want. And if you have it, great. We use your tool. If you want to get it from us, you can get it from us. Like, it doesn't matter, like, whatever your security temperament is, but this customer could have something completely different than that one. Mm-hmm. And I mean very different, like a whole new different vendor, right? Like, you could have this specific vendor for this customer and a whole different kind of vendor for that, because it makes that kind of sense for that customer based on the CIS controls. That's not possible unless you have a huge staff to do it.
Correct. Because it's too much specialization.
Yeah, and the education and then the contracts, like, you can't do that in the normal course of business unless you're, a very large MSP.
Right.
And which that's where we get, we act as an OEM to the software providers, and that's very rare because not even a lot of the big platforms are even OEMs to them. But because of our relationships at that level, we can do things that not a lot of others can, and that gives that functionality back to that MSP. And again, they really don't have to do a lot, right? Like they just get the baby and they can go work with the customer. But if they still want, we'll escalate to them because we're very granular. Like if you want to take tier 1, we take tier 1 and tier 2, and you want tier 3, by all means, we'll escalate that to you. But we answer as them. We have very great SLAs. We have all the tools and all the techniques. So it's fun to watch.
So all of that just made me come up with a new question.
Sure.
How does it handle boots on the ground?
We don't. So we don't do any
Okay.
boots on the ground. That's where we lean on. We feel like the value, and again, I talk about this. I've been talking about new value equations for MSPs for years. I believe that the new value is going to be change. And I said this for 2 years running now. I've said the next era of managed is managing change. It's a change mindset. It's a change of way of doing business and helping them move into that future. And so for us, we want the MSP to be the change agent for that customer. So their job is to go do the strategy, go do the boots on the ground, be the hero, and allow us to take care of the noise. And I say this often, and I said this recently on another show. I said, this is the first time ever that something allows you to actually work on your business and gets you out of your business.
Right.
None of this talk, right? None of this BS, none of the fancy, like, flash in the pan stuff. Physical, true tried labor that you can help and stand on. And that's where, for me, to see the look on their face, to watch them make money is just, it's awesome, man. And I'm excited about it because it works, and, you know, it's doing what I wished it would, and giving back that success to the MSP to see that I can actually make money. I don't have to sell right now. I can increase my valuation by, you know, four basis points because I'm so much more profitable now, and like truly take an exit if you really want one. But sometimes they're like, I just wanted it to work.
So I see like several use cases
Sure.
for this. I see somebody who wants to start
We do that every day.
a new MSP.
Yep.
And then I see what you were just talking about, what you were just describing, the MSP who's, I don't want to say almost bored, but looking for an out because it's no longer fun.
Yeah.
And so this is a way for them to get things back into shape,
Yeah.
be more profitable to have the lifestyle that they want,
Yep.
and then also better prepare them for the eventual exit.
You know, and that's, we have, and I say this often, people are like, well, who do you sell this to? And I'm like, I don't sell it to anybody, to be honest. We have distinct buyers, right? So the folks that arrive at our doorstep, you know, are those young hopefuls that are like, hey, I'm just starting an MSP. And I got a couple customers, and I can't, this ticket thing, I don't even know, bro. Like, I'm still trying to figure out a stack. But all I know is I got customers calling me all the time, and I can't, like, how do you guys do this? Like, how did you get to this point? Like,
Right.
And so we bring them on, we take care of it. They're like, this is the dream come true. Then you got the $1 to $5 million MSP that's like, you know, I've been doing this for a while, and this isn't as fun as I thought. I got, you know, every time it's hard to find staff, and it's hard to find processes, and, you know, there's so much work to be done, and they can just turn us on, turn the key and go, right? And that's where we see that. And then on the $5 to $10 million, which is interesting because, you know, when you look at the scale of those folks, they're like, I got to throw 3 people at every 100-seat deal I bring in. And not with us. And that's where they're like, hey, like, you can just be our extension. And then they test them out, and that customer just like takes off, and they're like, oh my God, this is how it's supposed to work. And I'm like, yeah. And then you got the last ones, which I think are the funnest, which are the franchise groups and the private equity folks, which shocked me because I didn't see them coming. That was a shock to me. I was like, oh, you big guys don't know what you're doing either? I thought somebody...
Are we really surprised?
Hey, I'm not going to say it, but I already put it out here. But it's not that they don't know. It's just that they don't have the expertise at that scale, right?
It's not their specialty.
Yeah, you're huge. So you got to figure out how to play the big game. And for them, it's easier just to bolt something on than it is to build it because it's expensive, right? So it doesn't change the economy of scale in terms of cost at the base as it does at the top. It's just a compounded aspect. And so I had somebody ask me this question, why are you better than us? And I said, well, you don't have enough time to get good.
That's true.
You only got about, according to my watch, about 4 years. And at that point, we will be doing something totally different. So why don't we just jump on the bus now, and then you can go do what you're supposed to be doing today and get good for what's next.
Yeah, that sounds really like, because things are accelerating so much faster now, that sounds like a much more logical and just achievable way to be able to change and pivot that quickly and maintain the agility that we're going to have, especially in this age where AI is just accelerating everything so dramatically.
Well, that's where I think, it's beautiful to watch, right? Because we're building a lot of this inside. So, not only we completely go hard right when you think about NOCSOC and service desk. Everyone's heard this before, but none of them do what we do. And we do co-selling with them. So if they obviously need some help on a deal, we jump in as them and we go and help them close that deal. We help them pick a margin. We put together their stack. We got white label contracts, all CS aligned, and we take that out as them and help them close business as them. And then we do something even more, QBR assistance, right? So no other vendor I know does that.
That's awesome.
And that's where we're double clicking to enable them to be successful.
Well, it sounds like this could really crack the code for a lot of MSPs. And I really appreciate you coming on and describing it. I'm excited about what this is going to look like.
Thank you.
And if somebody wants to find out more, how do they do that?
Yeah, come out and take a look. www.msp-aas.com. Jump over to LinkedIn, and come find me, Juan Fernandez, MSP as a service, and you can just ping us anytime, book some time, and just come take a look. We have some great experience centers. We bought some MSPs, and they're running on it. You can kind of come see, touch, look, and feel, and see what it would look like if you did it. But we have a lot of great customers too that would love to share their story. So anything we can do to help.
Sounds great. Thanks again, Juan.
Thanks, Eric.